All right, guys, this week up is Elements of Art. What is art? Art is the product or process of deliberately arranging items in a way that influences and affects one or more of the senses, emotions, and intellect. We watched a video on that last week, or you should have. Art is hard to define and it is different for every person, but basically it's just how it affects you. The elements of art are the building blocks used by artists to create a work of art. So it's like ingredients and when you're cooking. And the 7 elements of art are line, shape, form, value, texture, color, and space. So let's talk a little bit about line. Line is a mark that is made on a surface or an outline. Every piece of art starts with a line. It's defined by a point moving in space, and it can be 2 or 3-dimensional, descriptive, implied, or abstract. And I know those are big words. We're going to learn more about those. There are 5 main kinds of line. There's horizontal, lines that run parallel to the ground. There is vertical, lines that move up and down. There are diagonal, lines that slant. And there are curved, lines that change direction gradually. There's also zigzag line. I think everybody loves the zigzag. Lines that are made by combining diagonal lines that change direction. These lines, when viewed in a work of art, create confusion. They suggest action and excitement. Then we have shape. Shape, it always has 2 dimensions, length as well as width. It's represented by an enclosed area that is defined by color, value, space, texture, and form. When lines form together, they make flat shapes. So shapes are your ones you're used to, the geometric shapes, also called regular shapes. These are the shapes that are easy to recognize and use in math information also. So your circle, your squares, your rectangle, your triangles, your pentagon, hexagon, star, octagon. Then we have my favorite, organic shapes, also called freeform shapes. These are shapes that seem to follow no rules. Clouds, trees, they're figures that have a natural look and flowing, curving appearance. Look at my cute little penguin. All right, then we have positive shapes. This is the solid form of a design. It occupies the positive space. So in this picture, the positive space is the airplane. Then we have negative space, or shapes, excuse me. It is the space around the positive shape. So in this picture, the negative shape is the black area around the airplane. We have static shapes. It appears stable and resting, like this moon. Then we have dynamic shapes. It appears if it's moving and active. These are seen in a lot of like optical illusion art or animations. The next element is form. Form always has 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. Some types of forms are a cube, a regular solid 6 equal square sides. Everybody's familiar with that. A cylinder, a surface traced by a straight line moving parallel to a fixed straight line and intersecting a fixed plane or closed curve. That's a very fancy definition that you do not really need to know, but you can draw a picture of it. A cone, a solid generated by a right triangle on one of its legs. Everybody knows the cone. Makes me think of ice cream. And then we have spheres, a round solid figure or its surface with every point. So another big definition that we don't really know. We just know a sphere is three-dimensional. Done. All right, the next element is value. Value refers to the changes in the base color. It's the range of light and dark within a picture. So categories of value. So for instance, if you have the color blue, you only have one color, but you go from light blue to dark blue, that is value. Categories are tint. Tint equals adding white. Okay, adding white is a tint. So those are to make your colors lighter in value. An opposite of that would be shade. Shade is when we add black to create dark values such as blue or dark red. High key and low key. These are mainly associated with photography. We probably won't use these a lot in this class, but good to know. High key is where the picture is all light values, and low key is when the picture is all dark values. Then we have value contrast, where light values are placed next to dark values to create contrast or strong differences. So you've seen that in a lot of silhouette shops. A value scale. Now we will be using both of these. A scale that shows the gradual change from its value. So something that shows your lightest all the way to your darkest. We love value scales in art. And then we have texture, the next element of art. This is the quality of a surface or the way any work of art is represented. So it also refers to the way a picture is made to look, rough or smooth. Now, there's two categories. One is real. I can actually feel the texture. I can tell it's rough with my hands. Or implied, where it looks rough, but to the touch, it's nice and smooth. It's just made to look that way. And then the next element is color, our favorite. Color has three characteristics, which are hue, value, and intensity. Hue means the shades red, yellow, or pink. Value refers to the lightness or darkness, which we just learned. And intensity refers to the brightness or dullness, and you should know these from using filters on your phone. And the next element is space, not to be confused with shape. It is the creation of visual perspective. This gives the illusion of depth. It can also mean the way an artist uses the area within the picture plane. Real space is actually three-dimensional. So space, you think about perspective, 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, those pictures where you're looking at a distance and you see a bridge, how the artist has used the background and foreground and the space within the picture. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you were able to pause and take notes. These elements are super important. This week is just an introduction. We will dive into each element very specifically throughout this year, starting with line next week.